Hello there. Everything seems to have been conspiring against me at the moment. Um, the house move that we've been going through has resulted in the fact that my normally quite empty room that I use for this is currently being used for storage. Um, I've also had technical problems. For some reason, um, neither Google Chrome nor Safari, since I use a Mac, um, will allow me to post or on Facebook or access things like the camera. So I've had to download a third browser, Firefox, which is actually very good, before I can actually access my camera and broadcast to go live. But the main thing is that, as some of you will know, I had an accident just over a week ago, which has resulted in me breaking a small bone in my toe. Now, um, I've actually feel I've been very lucky because um, although um, I remember as I was falling, thinking, "Oh dear God, please don't let me fracture my hip or my thigh." Um, this accident could have been so much worse because it is only one bone actually in my toe at the base of the toe, which means I think at one point we were all wondering if I'd got that favourite injury of footballers, a cracked metatarsal. But the net result is that I've ended up with a very small minor fracture, which will heal in 6 to 8 weeks. But because I need to allow it time to heal, it means I've got to make sure that I don't use the foot as much as I normally would do. Um, Now, if you've been watching these videos for some time, I am quite sure that you will have heard me say two things more than once. The first is the importance of posture, and the second is the importance of listening to your body. Now, why am I going on about posture when quite clearly I am sitting? Well, that's why I'm sitting, because I want to continue to have as good a posture as possible. Um, about 18 months to 2 years ago, in my qigong training, I did a module that was all about body alignment and the importance of posture. And I realised something that's actually very, very fundamental, which is that, and this is why when I'm doing my personal qigong practice standing, I work in bare feet. That the feet are the root of posture. So if you've got something amiss with your feet, that means that you can't stand normally, it's going to have ramifications up the whole of your body. My teacher um, is quite adamant about the fact that an awful lot of modern illnesses, like, bad hips, bad knees, bad ankles, come from the fact that we don't stand in as good a posture as possible. And in fact, it was after that that I started taking much better care of my feet, because things like, you know, dry, cracked skin that causes pain can make you stand funny. If you don't take care of your toenails and get ingrowing toenails, that can affect how you stand. And quite obviously, a broken bone, which causes me pain, which means that I don't want to put as much weight on that foot as I normally would, is going to affect my posture. Um, and obviously, I don't want to have my posture or my foot affected long term. The other thing is the importance of listening to your body. Now, quite clearly, my body is sending me regular signals in the form of pain from my foot. Um, and I absolutely have to listen to that because although I am taking painkillers, I'm enough of a pharmacist to know that in an acute situation like this, actually paracetamol and things like ibuprofen, as long as you take them properly, are very helpful. Painkillers in chronic pain is another issue, and that's something I do feel quite strongly about because in chronic pain, well, to be honest, any sort of pain, we do know that there is a strong placebo effect, which means in chronic pain that um, painkillers are possibly not as helpful as they should be, but certainly in the short term, in acute pain, painkillers are quite important. Um, but interestingly, when I went to see the doctor yesterday, the orthopedic surgeon, his advice, I said, well, what, how much can I do? Because I haven't got a cast on my foot. It's not necessary. I just need to, that I've got this thing called buddy strapping where they take one toe to the next. Um, but he said, he came out with a phrase that I never thought I'd heard a doctor say. He just said, well, just listen to your body. And I thought, hooray, Western medicine is starting to get the idea. So, I have an issue which means that I am having to listen to my body, which means that I cannot stand in good posture, which means that I'm certainly not going to be standing to do this broadcast. And because um, I'm not quite sure where my bag is with my singing bowling, and I'm not going to go wandering around the house or possibly even out to the car where it could be to try and find it because that's just unnecessary walking. I haven't actually got my singing bowl to start and then the meditation. But what I am going to do is use this as an opportunity to talk about seated qigong because I do know that I have, excuse me, backing away from the camera. I do know that I actually have a large group of people who do regularly sit, possibly because they're in wheelchairs or maybe an older group of people. So, seated qigong is going to be my focus certainly for today. I will hope to be able to stand next week maybe, but I'm honestly not sure. But even so, there is still a lot to be learned for from seated qigong. So the first thing is the posture. If you're doing qigong seated, you want to be seated on something that means that your hips and your knees are at right angles. I've spoken before about how it's necessary to have um, a smooth flow of energy. If you've got a pipe that's kinked, the energy can't flow through it properly. Now, obviously, um, my pipes are kinked at both the knees and the hips, but by having them at 90 degrees, I'm ensuring that the flow will still be as smooth as possible while not doing damage to the joints. The key thing is that when you're seated, you still need to have your feet a hip width apart. Obviously, you can't have your hips, knees, and toes in line with each other. But what you can still do is ensure your back is nice and straight and ensure that you are engaging your core abdominal muscles. Because especially when you've got something that's affecting how well you're using your lower body, that does get reflected in your spine because it puts pressure on the spine. So in many respects, it's even more important to engage these core abdominal muscles to help support the spine. If you are working in working seated, a stool, which I'm sitting on my therapy stool, is ideal. But you can work in a chair, but you don't want arms there, because if you've got arms, then your arms are not going to be hanging straight down. Really, you want your arms hanging straight down if you can. But I do often say put your hands in your lap if that's what's comfortable. Because one of the key things, whether you're sitting or standing, is to listen to your body, um, and do what works for you. Because just as with a standing qigong, this isn't about doing it picture perfect. It's about doing it in the perfect way for you and your body and how your body is reacting today. So if getting your hands down there doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, so you've got your hands on your lap, well, that's fine. The important thing is that regardless of how much mobility you normally have, that you are doing something that is coordinating your breath and your body, which is the really important factor of Qigong. There are a number of people watching this who will give a little smile when I come out with my regular mantra, as if you can breathe, you can do it. And I will take an absolutely huge bet that 100% of the people who are watching this video are breathing. That means that you definitely can do Qigong, which is one reason why I love it, because anybody can do it. So, with that in mind, if you are able to stand and wish to stand, I'm sure you know what good bear start is, but I'm not going to demonstrate it this morning. So, I'd like to invite you to sit or stand um, in the best posture that you can possibly get. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and just breathe. Use your breath to tune in to your body. Work out what your body feels like doing today. Maybe tune into your mind. Maybe get a sense of how you're feeling. And very importantly, maybe get a sense of how you would like to feel at the end of this session. Because this is all about you. It's not about me, it's not about anybody else who's watching. This is all about you. What you need right here, right now. And hopefully, in what I'm going to do, I'm going to facilitate you getting what you need. So, close your eyes, breathe, tune into your body. Get a sense of feeling your breath and your body moving together. Then I'd like you to imagine that you are in a glass lift car. In this lift, you can look out of the glass over the most beautiful landscape. Feels so good, it looks so beautiful. And with every out breath, I'd like you to imagine that that lift cage starts to fall, floor by floor by floor, until it gradually reaches the bottom. Maybe you can imagine yourself walking out of the lift car and feeling that connection with the earth. And let your hands float down by your sides. Let them hang loosely. Breathe and get a sense of how your arms want to respond to your breath. And then with your next in-breath, slowly let your arms float up in front of you. And as you breathe out, just let them float all the way down. Breathe in, let arms float up. Breathe out, and they sink back down. And just keep doing this. Find your own breath and your own rhythm. Worry if you're doing things at a different rate to me. Just do what works for you. Only move your arms as far as you can easily manage in one gentle, easy breath. Breathe in, let your arms float up. Breathe out, and they sink back down. Let your arms float up, and then let them sink down. And then last time for this move, breathe out, and just let your hands sink down. And with your next in-breath, let them float up, and then just turn your hands inwards, and they spread out. And as you breathe out, let your hands float back in and back down. It doesn't have to be a big move. You breathe in, feel your chest and lungs expanding, and as you breathe out, just feel everything relax and let go. Maybe as you breathe in, imagine you breathe in good and positive feelings. As you breathe out, imagine yourself breathing out any stress or tension like grey smoke. Breathe in, your arms spread out and spread out, and as you breathe out, they float back in and back down. Feel the expansion in your chest as you breathe in. And then the last time for this move, and your next in-breath, let your arms rise up as high as you're happy with. And then as you breathe out, let one hand float down. As you breathe in, bring it up to the top again, and do the same on the other side. Think of your arm as uncurling. Now if you're standing, dip slightly on the opposite knee, next to the one that the arm is dropping down. If you're seated, raise the heel slightly on the same side as the arm that's dipping down. So I'm lowering my right arm and slightly raising my right heel very cautiously because that's the broken one, the foot with the broken toe. Breathe out, one hand floats down, and as you breathe in it comes back up. And then last time for this move, breathe in and bring your hands up to the top, and as you breathe out, let your hands sweep down by your side. And as you breathe in, your arms float up. Breathe out, they sink down. Breathe in and they rise up. And if you like, as you breathe out, you can imagine you're swimming through clouds or pushing away any clouds that surround you. Breathe in, your arms float up. Breathe out, and they sink back down. Breathe in, your arms rise up. Breathe out, and they sink back down. And then the last time for this move. And this time as you breathe out, just let your hands slowly come down into position on your lap, ready to balance your chi. As you breathe in, imagine you feel around a small ball, and as you breathe out, push that ball underwater. So breathe in, smooth around the ball, breathe out, push that ball underwater. And then last time for this move, And this time as you breathe out, just let your hands come to rest in front of your abdomen. And just for a moment, just sit or stand and let everything settle. Let everything, let's get a sense of everything settling back to where it should be. And I'd like to invite you to get into position, ready for the meditation. Let's move slightly nearer the microphone. So get yourself settle down wherever you want to do the meditation. Now, if you want to close your eyes during this meditation, you can do, but you don't have to. The point of mindfulness is just to let your awareness rest, to follow the instructions that I'm going to be giving you. You may find it easier to keep your attention focused if your eyes are closed, but you don't have to. First, I would like you to let your attention be very focused on where your body is touching the chair or the stool or the bed while you're doing the meditation, or maybe even if you're lying on the floor. I want you to become very aware of the touch of whatever it is that you're on your body. Maybe you're aware of different textures. But just really focus on where your body meets the chair. Then I'd like you to get a sense of how the chair supports your body. Maybe imagine gravity pulling you a little further in so you sink deeper into the chair. And as you do, just let your shoulders relax just a little bit more. Then I want you just to let your attention rest on your breathing. I don't want you to change your breath in any way. I just want you to notice every in-breath and every out-breath. Just notice what you notice about each breath. Maybe you notice air moving in your nose or throat. Maybe you notice muscles moving in your chest or maybe in your tummy. Whatever you notice is perfect. Maybe you can follow the whole breath equally, but maybe there's one bit of your breath that stands out more than any other. If so, just let your attention rest with that part of the breath. Because mindfulness isn't about clearing your mind, it's about noticing what your mind is doing. And sometimes our minds want to focus on things that aren't helpful. Maybe things that are worrying us. Maybe things that have happened in the past or may happen in the future. And when that happens, it's good to notice and to recognize that sometimes these thoughts don't help us. Now, if you do notice that your mind wanders, whether it wanders to something pleasant or unpleasant, I don't want you to criticize yourself, because actually it's perfectly normal for minds to wander. Human minds are meant to think. So when you notice that your mind has wandered away, I want you to congratulate yourself. Because when you notice what your mind is thinking about, you are being mindful. And it doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders away. Just as many times as it wanders off. Just as many times I want you to gently and compassionately lead your mind back to focusing on your breathing. Because right here, right now, you don't have to think about anything else except just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. And it really doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders away. Just as many times, lead it back. Because when you notice what your mind is doing, you are succeeding in being mindful. And when you lead your mind back to focusing on what is going on right here, right now with your breath, you are succeeding in being mindful. So what do you notice about your breath? Maybe you are very aware of air moving around. Maybe you can notice that when you breathe in, the air at the tip of your nose is cold, and when you breathe out, it's warm. Maybe you're aware of the rise and fall of your chest. Maybe you're aware of the rise and fall of muscles in your belly. Whatever you're aware of is perfect for you. But now I'd like you to try to focus your attention on the moment of stillness that happens in between each breath. When your in-breath becomes an out-breath, or your out-breath becomes an in-breath. Just for a moment, everything is still. Can you become aware of that moment of stillness? Don't hold your breath in any way. Don't try to make that moment last longer. Just see if you can notice that moment of stillness. And as you notice that stillness, can you notice how you feel? In a busy world, stillness is something that can be very hard to find. Whether it's stillness of the body when you're rushing around, or whether it's stillness of the mind when you have a lot to think about. But now you know that there is a moment of stillness that happens hundreds of times every day. Because every time you breathe, that moment of stillness happens. And as you anchor your attention and your awareness into your breath, find that moment of stillness. A moment that is still, calm, maybe peaceful. And as you become aware of those feelings, maybe we could imagine the whole of your body filling with them. Can you notice those feelings in your body? If you can't, don't worry. It can take practice. But practice is easy to do. Just focus your attention onto your breath and find the moment of stillness in between each breath. That stillness that happens right here, right now. once again become aware of each breath, every in-breath and every out-breath. And then gradually let your attention move outwards so that you become aware once more of the support that you're getting from the chair, where your body touches the chair. And then gradually let yourself become aware of the room and the sounds both inside and outside the room. If you've had your eyes closed, let them come open and gradually bring yourself back to more normal awareness. But as you do, keep in the front of your mind the thought that you can anchor your awareness into your breath to find that good, relaxed, peaceful feeling again anytime that you need to. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm painfully aware that I didn't do a video at all last week. Because of that, I am going to see if I can do an extra video, something a little bit different, at some point between now and next Saturday. So watch out for that. That video will as ever be posted onto the page, onto my wall, onto the Crystal Wolf Holistic Care YouTube channel, and also onto my Patreon page, and onto various groups around Facebook as well. Thank you very much for being with me this morning. I hope you found that helpful, and I will hope to see you again very soon. Thank you very much.